Wanda Maximoff has long been a fan favorite in the Marvel Universe. Debuting in the X-Men issue 4 back in 1964, Scarlet Witch was inducted as a part of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants alongside her twin, Quicksilver, but would later become part of the second incarnation of the Avengers team alongside her brother, Hawkeye and Captain America himself. Since she's become a character with a very long history, especially in the X-Men and Avengers narratives, having some of the most traumatic and emotionally straining story arcs, often pertaining to her control over her powers or her turbulent relationship with her sometimes dad Magneto. So today, just like we have with many other comic book icons on our channel, we're taking a look beyond her Earth 616 self, with the top 10 alternate versions of Scarlet Witch. Let's jump in. Starting us off in at number 10, Age of Apocalypse. This Earth 295 version of Wanda is a part of the Age of Apocalypse story arc, where big bad Apocalypse stirs up some trouble, and there's a bunch of time travel reality altering. Scarlet Witch pops into the story in X-Men Chronicles issue 1, which takes place early on in the war against Apocalypse, where she is a member of the X-Men, a team that's led by her father Magneto. She dies in battle, but her final request is to ask Rogue to stay close to her father. Later on, since the story event was quite popular, more stories were written within that reality, including one that appeared in an issue of Uncanny X-Force. Jean Grey decides to clone the deceased Scarlet Witch in an attempt to replicate her powers and depower mutants on a mass scale, kind of like what happened in House of M. Luckily, the plan backfires and ends up depowering Jean Grey in the process, so RIP Scarlet Witch. And at number 9, Marvel Noir. Earth 90214, also known as Marvel Noir, features a Wanda that doesn't have powers. Rather, she's a wealthy socialite and the daughter of Eric Magnus, a chief of detectives, who is also a powerful leader of a secret criminal society called the Brotherhood. Surprise, surprise. He also doesn't have powers. Anywho, Wanda was fully aware of her father's interactions with the Brotherhood, and never looked down upon it, actually calling it wonderful at one point. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Aside from this, she doesn't do a whole lot much aside from becoming infatuated with Thomas Halloway, aka Angel in this universe, a great acrobat and detective. Marvel Noir explores a world in which the regular Earth 616 heroes all debuted back in the 1920s and 30s instead, and in present day many of those heroes are unknown, although there are some exceptions including Spider-Man, Daredevil, and Luke Cage. Moving into number 8, the MANGAVERSE of Earth 2301. This version of Wanda belongs to the MANGAVERSE, a reality in the Marvel Universe where all of the characters are manga-sized. Manga-sized? Manga-sized. Manga-ized. They're manga, meaning they all look the part and also have a bunch of characteristics that are more fitting of that genre. This Wanda uses a variety of spells that are based in the elements: fire, water, wind, and metal. In the storylines that she appears in, she's a member of the Avengers who encounters the Horsemen of Apocalypse, and eventually defeats the villain too. Later, when Dr. Doom crashes a UN meeting, several Avenger members are killed by him, prompting Wanda to swear vengeance against the villain. Up next at 7, MC2 from Earth 982. This version of Scarlet Witch is an older Wanda, appearing in the A-Next comic. She had long been in a coma after fighting alongside the Avengers on this Earth to eliminate a portal to an alternate fascist universe that was ruled by Dr. Doom, who just so happened to be a Nazi. Her coma was linked to keeping the portal cut off from their own universe. Later on, Loki had captured her, revived her, and then proceeded to brainwash her, all in an attempt to corrupt various heroes in the universe as a means of punishing the Avengers. Luckily, Wanda broke free of Loki's brainwashing and would continue to appear in the MC2 universe, although only made brief appearances. Up next, number 6, 1602. The 1602 universe takes place in, well, 1602. Self-explanatory, really. Our present-day heroes in this world are in the 17th century. Wanda is a witch breed, this universe's version of a mutant. Witch breeds are hunted and feared during the Spanish Inquisition. There's also a guy named the Grand Inquisitor who runs it, who is this reality's Magneto. Wanda is known as Sister Wanda, and works with the Grand Inquisitor alongside her brother Petro, and is convinced that their powers came from God. Witch breeds were burned at the stake, and when Sister Wanda is exposed, her brother the Grand Inquisitor and her all leave the country, boarding a ship to the New World. But on the way, their ship is detained by the Inquisitor's longtime rival, Carlos Javier, aka Charles Xavier, and in exchange for the Inquisitor's help, Javier promises to train both Wanda and Petro. And at number 5, Marvel Zombies from Earth 2149. Marvel Zombies! Just like all of the other Marvel characters, Wanda makes an appearance in this universe, where she's hunted down and infected by the zombie virus thanks to the Punisher. In Marvel Zombies 3, she appears as her zombified self, working for Kingpin by manipulating and using the Vision, who at the time was still in love with her. She comes to an untimely end when she's decapitated by Machine Man's chainsaw limb. Yup. And then ripped apart and tossed into a zombie pile. I love zombies. And at number 4, Scarlet Warlock of Earth 127. Scarlet Warlock is, you guessed it, the male version of Scarlet Witch. Hailing from Earth 127, where several of the genders of characters have been switched, Scarlet Warlock was combined with Earth 127's Wolverine, Magneto, Quicksilver, and Mesmero in order to become a character called Brother Mutant. This happened when Scarlet Warlock attempted to imbue Magneto with Wolverine's adamantium skeleton, inadvertently merging them all into a single being which has all of the abilities of those 5 characters. So yeah, it's super powerful, like ridiculously powerful. Moving on to number 3, Ultimate Marvel. The Ultimate Marvel Wanda is one of the weirder ones on our list. This is because she gets it on in an incestuous relationship with none other than her twin brother Pietro. Her and Quicksilver start off as members of Magneto's Brotherhood of Mutant Supremacy, but then they switch sides, joining up with the Ultimates as a trade-off to release Brotherhood members who have been imprisoned by them. The two would then be part of the Black Ops section of the Ultimates for a while. Later on down the road, an Ultron unit would become obsessed with Wanda and saw Pietro as a rival because of this. This Ultron eventually realized that Wanda would never love it, so it killed her with a special bullet altered to directly attack her DNA, and afterwards created an android duplicate of several of the Ultimates, including one of Wanda, with the intention of being a hero to the android to feel better about itself. This just keeps getting weirder. Anywho, Wanda eventually returned to the Ultimates universe, first as a figment of Pietro's imagination, and then a second time as an illusion once more, which also, again, messed with Pietro's mind big time. And at number 2, GYPSY Witch of Earth 398. Earth 398 was a reality created by Morgan Le Fay, a warped reality set in medieval times in which all of the Avengers believed that they were part of the Queen's elite guard, known as the Queen's Vengeance. Scarlet Witch's alternate in this was known as GYPSY Witch, but unlike all of the other Avengers who were not privy to the altered clothing, speech patterns, and thought process this reality distortion caused, her powers allowed her to keep her memories of how reality was prior to the change. Because of this, she was imprisoned, but managed to reach out to her fellow Avengers teammates and unlock their memories, which eventually helped them all shift reality back to normal and defeat Morgan Le Fay. And finally, in at number 1, the MCU Scarlet Witch. The MCU version of Scarlet Witch is played by Elizabeth Olsen, and is arguably one of the more popular alternates these days. How is she different than her comic book Earth 616 self? Well, for starters, thanks to Disney not owning certain rights at the time, Scarlet Witch isn't technically a mutant. Rather, she's depicted as getting her powers from experimentation with the Mind Stone, which gave her and her brother Pietro, aka Quicksilver, their powers. She's a telepath and telekinetic rather than a sorceress. The MCU in its early days approached the magic and mystical in a much more scientific way. As Thor explains early on, your ancestors called it magic and you call it science, while I come from a place where they're one and the same thing. Now, much of what the MCU Scarlet Witch does is pull in energies from other dimensions in an organized and purposeful fashion, focusing them to use it in a precise way. That being said, fans have high hopes for how Wanda will be integrated with the inevitable introduction of the X-Men into the MCU, now that Disney and Marvel Studios have those sweet rights to do so. Alright, there we have it, friends. Which of these was your favorite alternate version of Wanda? Which ones did we not mention that you think should have made our list? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know. If you dug this video, spread the love and hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd for more lists just like this one. In the meantime though, thanks for watching, friends. I'll catch you all in the next video.